Thank you, Supervisor Hagerty. Former U.S. Secretary of Transportation Norm Mineta's political career began 45 years ago when the San Jose native was appointed to a vacant San Jose City Council seat. In 1971, he became the first Asian American mayor of a major U.S. city. From 1975 to 1995, Secretary Mineta served in the U.S. House of Representatives, representing San Jose and Santa Clara Valley. Secretary Mineta headed the Transportation Department for 5 years, the longest-serving secretary in the department's history. Previously, he served as Secretary of Commerce under President Bill Clinton. Please welcome Secretary Norm Mineta.
And thank you very, very much. You cannot imagine the pride I have of being here today. You know, having been born and raised in San Jose 80 years ago, and the community leaders then were talking about bring BART to San Jose. Well, not really, not really. But it seems like it's that long. But we have a great deal of thanks to these people who everyone has mentioned. First, the voters here in Santa Clara County who voted 2 tax measures in order to fund these improvements. And they were done with over 2/3 vote and one close to 70% vote to get the measures passed. Secondly, Carl Guardino and the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. You know, you've heard about bridges to nowhere and all these other kinds of projects that other areas seem to have. But that is never something that you will hear about relating to projects here in Silicon Valley. And it was Carl who came to the fore in bringing business and other groups together and labor together in order to get behind the measures that got the financing possible. The other person is Michael Burns, the general manager of the Valley Transportation Authority. I know a lot of general managers of transit systems across the country, and we are very, very fortunate to have the likes of a Michael Burns here in San Jose or in Santa Clara County. He put together an application that was sort of the thing that transportation leaders in D.C. like to hear. Environment, energy savings, productivity, jobs, all these things. And Michael put all those dots together in the application that was submitted to the Department of Transportation. And then we have Secretary LaHood, Federal Transit Administrator Peter Rogoff, then to thank for having sorted through all of these applications and coming up with $900 million in a full funding grant agreement for this project to move ahead. So again, to all of you, to people on the dais, people who have just worked on this constantly over the years, congratulations to all of you, and thanks a million for all your hard work.
Thank you, Secretary Mineta. Our next speaker is Carl Guardino, who I feel has already been introduced 13 times, but now it's my turn. For more than a decade, BART Silicon Valley has had a dedicated supporter in the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. The Silicon Valley Leadership Group worked diligently with local business leaders and Santa Clara County residents to ensure BART Silicon Valley had funding for both construction and operations. With the help of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group, an unprecedented public-private partnership was created to gather together the region's best talent working toward this common goal. We wouldn't be here today without the efforts of Silicon Valley Leadership Group and its tireless leader. Please help me welcome in Silicon Valley Leadership Group's President and CEO, Carl Guardino.
Well, when you're told you're going to be the 14th of 15 speakers, just in case it was dark by the time I came up, I brought a flashlight. What an honor it is to be here today through boom times and bust. If I may just mention, I think everyone in this tent, and certainly on this stage, is why BART is becoming a reality. But it's really a four-legged stool. And in boom times and bust, you know who is with you. In 2000, we launched the campaign, Mayor Jamie Matthews, at the Caltrain station across from Santa Clara University, where this 16.1-mile extension will end. I remember our friend Pete McHugh, who was as shy then as he is today, pounded on the podium so hard that our little Silicon Valley leadership group podium split in half. But those were the boom times in Silicon Valley. Traffic was terrible. Optimism was high. The dot-com boom had not become a bust, and we won by 70.4% of the vote, with campaign workers like Sam Liccardo, now a San Jose City Councilman. But then you have bust times, too. The 2008 measure, the year started good economy, and then it collapsed in September of that year. The steepest and deepest downturn in the history of Silicon Valley. We didn't have a single poll in that 5-month campaign that showed us winning. The best we had was 64%. Yet we had volunteer campaign workers like Benna Chang and others on my team working 80, 90, and 100-hour weeks for 24 state weeks, knowing that they were working on, quote, a losing campaign. Because in Silicon Valley, we have vision and belief. And we know that a goal is a dream with a plan, and we weren't going to pull away from the effort. Election day came and went, and we didn't win. It took 4.5 weeks of counting absentee ballots and then provisional ballots, and I still have about 100 left in the trunk of my car before that requirement for 66.67% was exceeded with 66.78%. 700,000 votes cast, we won by 2,221 votes. Every vote counts. I don't know if former State Assemblyman Jim Canine is here. He fielded a lot of calls during that time by a nervous campaign manager of how we get there and win Republican votes. I'm delighted that Cindy Chavez, head of the Central Labor Council, is here, because that's Silicon Valley. All sides of the political equation to move all of our citizens forward. Jim and Cindy, thank you for your leadership on that campaign. And then, of course, the state, starting with our governor, Gray Davis, continuing with Governor Schwarzenegger and with Governor Brown, and my colleagues on the California Transportation Commission. Bobby, Jim, Bimla, are you still here? They were here with us earlier, never breaking faith with this project. And then the federal share with the leadership of Senator Feinstein, Senator Boxer, and of course, from A to Z, Anna, Mike, and Zoe leading our congressional delegation so boldly. And Peter Rogoff, what an honor to have you here. When you pulled out your wallet, I really thought you were coming with another $1 billion. But because he didn't, as my team and I thought, how do we make sure that this first 10-mile segment truly lives up to the vision of our voters for the complete 16.1-mile extension to downtown San Jose and on to Santa Clara? We thought, what better than a bake sale? These cupcakes can be yours for only 100 million apiece. So as we celebrate the first 10-mile extension and 48,000 daily passenger trips, we will never forget or stop Jamie Matthews until we finish the complete 16.1-mile extension of 98,000 daily passenger trips. So repeat with me our new slogan, 6.1 before we're done. You know you're in trouble when you just dropped a cupcake on the mayor of San Jose.